This is John McIntyre. He's a drummer for local Tucson bands including Little Cloud and the Muffalettas. I met him on a lunch break as he practiced drum rudiments in a gray office complex. He was a lively spark in a sea of nothing. He offered me an opportunity to break the rules and get a good story. The rules of street photography state the subject be candid and the city and/or town depicted include a person. It's imperative to master the traditional skills of street photography, but more important is to know when to ignore these constraints. So why talk about my newfound friend John? Well, I think it's important to break from the norms. Yes, there's a certain standard when it comes to taking street photos, and I love that part. I mean, you're going to see some of that work in this video that I've done recently. That work has gotten me a tremendous amount of accolades over the past year, and it's also challenged me because I hadn't really done that work on this type of scale before the past year and a half. But it's also important to know when to abandon these rules and strategic ways that you have to formulate a shot, and you have to make sure that within street photography your subject is candid. With a situation like John, if I didn't approach him, and obviously I'm not posing him, but I imposed and I said, hey, can I be a fly on the wall and kind of hang out with you for a little bit? I made a connection not only to my community but to the subject, and it's not something I would have been able to do from afar. There's a minimalist style that I developed a few weeks ago, and that came from just being bored of doing the same thing over and over in the street. The colors are very stripped down, it's a very minimal amount of light. The work is an homage to a painter named Mark Rothko, who's always been a favorite of mine in the art world. If I wasn't willing to break the norms a little bit and think for myself when it came to taking images, I wouldn't have started this style. And don't get me wrong, I love street photography. I love the traditional street photography. You're a person in the street, you're interacting with your environment, you're taking snaps, you're getting stuff that's maybe you're not supposed to be getting because it's someone being vulnerable or in a vulnerable situation, but at the same time there's a beauty and magic to that. And also there's a beauty and magic to knowing what the norms are and breaking them. That's where I believe we can find our artistic truth and a little bit of universal truth. What's important to our world? Accurate representation, a playful representation, or just a sense of playfulness. That I feel is missing in a lot of street photography work and a lot of work in general. And what I hope to do as a professional and someone that's growing is to have fun while I learn to challenge myself and sharpen my ability to tell a story. That's what I got on street photography norms. So drop me a comment if you feel the same or feel differently. Until next week, I'll see you on the streets.